advanced certificate course. She actually initiated the advanced certificate course in health professions education and has an affiliate fellowship of American Academy of Maxillofacial Orthodontics. Dr. Nagda is the recipient of the T.C. White Scholarship BTN Award for Administrative Excellence, winner of Projects That Work at Educational Networking Conference in 2014 at Brazil, and has been invited as a panelist at the American Dental Education Academy. She has served as a nodal officer for the UNESCO Bioethics Initiative. So who else than Dr. Nagda to be with us and to share her views at this AHP webinar. We warmly welcome Dr. Nagda. Welcome, Soha.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much.
The floor is all yours.
Yeah, thank you so much for that kind introduction. Good evening to everyone. And it's a pleasure to be this evening sharing my thoughts in AHPE Dialogues with all the educationists and esteemed members who have been very senior, contributing a lot to education. And today's my topic is deep work, cultivating cognitive capacity in the age of distraction, from fragmented attention to purposeful learning. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are. You are. Go ahead.
Next one. Next slide. So we all know the story in the mythology Mahabharata regarding Arjun's skill in archery. Arjun, the great archer. Is it only the skill? He developed a singular focus on the target. His guru created situations for him to filter external distractions and deliberate practice. So, next. From how do we design from attention to intention? Is sustained attention a personal trait and we leave it to students and say, pay attention? Can we intentionally design learning experiences to cultivate it? Is the question that came up to me. Next. So today, the learning objectives are define deep work. We'll explain how attention residue and attention endurance influence the learning. We'll be able to apply practical design principle to create short sessions which can be incorporated in our daily teaching sessions, and identify one teaching strategy you can implement immediately in your teaching to foster deeper learner engagement. Next. Next. Attention is called the new currency because you have to tap. Human focus is a tradable commodity. The economists call it as the new economy because the tech platforms are monetizing with our engagement with the fragmented attention and impulsive or reactive attention. We immediately fall to the algorithms, notifications, addictions, addictive designs. Added to that, the narratives that are given by the platforms gives them a huge profit. So rightfully, it is the new currency. Next. There are tech skeptics and tech optimists. Information is both an asset and a challenge. We all agree to that. The challenge is not the technology or the AI or the app. It is how we use it. So are we mindfully using it is the question. Using intentionally, not reflexively is the challenge today. In fact, from this load of information, how you filter out the rubbish and take out what is very appropriate for us is the challenge. So we are moving from just memorizing to able to analyze and what information is right for us. Next. We are not today living in an information poor environment. We teach in a attention poor environment. Next. No, previous slide. So I invite you, previous slide. I invite you to watch the slide for 30 seconds. I do. You, Jyotsna? 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 Sorry for that interruption. Jyotsna? Can you go to the previous slide? So be on this slide for 30 seconds.
Ma'am, I'm unable to unmute one.
Why?
And no, I'm not able to do that. And on that particular slide, there is no animation that you were
No, I
asking.
don't want. I want the blank
You
slide.
just want a blank slide right
Yes,
now.
please.
Okay.
And when I am ending the slide, you just click on it, okay?
Yeah, just a second, ma'am. Let me put it properly up. Okay, because I'm not able to handle the controls here. Just a second.
So I invite you to watch on this screen for about 30 seconds. Click on the next slide. So now can you share your experience? Think about what did you notice? Did your attention wander? And if it has, find out where it shifted and what drew it back. What helped you bring it back? Attention may naturally wander. It is important whether we noticed it. Next.
You want participants to share their experience or shall we go
They
ahead?
can share in the, okay, I don't mind waiting for a couple of seconds. You can share in the chat box or you can share, they can share it. You can open their mute button.
They're able to unmute themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So please respond in the chat, or if you want, you can unmute yourselves and share the experience.
Ma'am, first I noticed the colors, two colors, and then what drew my attention back are the wavy patterns.
Okay. Apart from that, did you also notice that you want to look back and where to look back?
Yeah, ma'am, where the waves were forming and deforming. So, I was looking at that.
Okay. So attention naturally wanders.
Yes.
We have to bring it back. Next slide. So attention is not about never getting distracted. You notice and intentionally restore back. That strengthens your attention because if you do it again and again, it becomes a practice. There is a struggle initially. It's called as cognitive struggle. But this is what makes it stronger. And capacity to focus long enough helps us to process the information and understanding emerges. Just click on the slide. So this phenomena is called as attention endurance. Throughout our presentation, this one phenomena is very important because it is all about attention endurance. Next. So from fragmented multitasking creates fragmented attention and limited attention to be sustained on the job because you are all the time going on different jobs. So Jyotsna, click on 4-5 times. So information overload, constant interruptions, habitual task switching, and culture of busyness leads to shallow processing and also to superficial learning, and ultimately knowledge retention in the long-term memory is poor. Next. So what is shallow work? Let's look into that. This work is a must. We have to do the work. We are living in a connected world. So emails, messages, notification are common practice. But keeping 10 tabs open and emails every 3 minutes, and added to that is your meetings and routine documentation. Where is the opportunity to focus? Next. So there is a hidden cost for all this task switching, frequent interruptions. We become reactive. Our thought is not intentional. Shorter attention spans. Previous slide. Shorter attention spans leads to fragmented attention and reduced capacity for sustaining attention. Surface level processing become and not deep understanding. Next. So it is jumping, Jyotsna. Previous. Why does attention matter? Attention is the gateway to learning. You all agree with me for that? And attention helps us to process on the task, on the information, and helps us to process it deeply with the extended focus. We can analyze, integrate, and connect. And if the engagement continues, there will be reasoning and problem solving and meaningful learning. Next. So busyness is not equal to productivity. Productivity is not the function of time and effort. In fact, if you spend too much of time, there will be a fatigue, cognitive fatigue. And beyond a point, in the end of the day, we all feel fatigued about how much busy I was. It's just a paradox. Next. No, you jumped the slides. Next. So what is deep work? Cal Newport, professor of computer science at Georgetown University, popularized this concept in his book called Deep Work in 2016. He defined it as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push cognitive capacities to their limit. Next. He proposed a practical framework. Sustained distraction-free cognitive work supports mastering of complex skill, was the underlying pinned importance. High value work, difficult to replicate when you are focusing and concentrating. We all must have realized that certain things, ideas come when you are in deep thinking. Originally developed for workers and professionals in every field, but it's an individual concept. Next. His framework involved monastic approach which eliminates complete distraction. Isolating may not be possible now, but that was one of the concepts used by Carl Jung when he was in a distraction-free area in Bollington in his own house called Tower and did not connect with anything. So he came out with the analytical psychology, that is the conscious mind, subconscious mind, etc. In fact, a very important, theory that he has given. Bimodal, alternating between your rituals and your focusing work or attention, deep attention. Incorporating in the daily routine, maybe a practice for 2 hours or a couple of hours or morning or evening is rhythmic. And journalistic seeks opportunities whenever you are able to, anytime, anywhere, connect with it. Next slide. So deep work I wanted to take some insights for health professions, education, and throwing open this idea to this esteemed audience as to can we have an educational question as to how we can cultivate this sustained attention in our learners. Individually, concepts are given, but here, how we can do it for our learners. How can we design learning experience that helps learners to focus, think deeply, and connect ideas, engage meaningfully? Can we do this is the question. The next slide. How do we apply the deep work to learning design? Attention is designed and not assumed. Deep work is not about making tasks difficult. Experiences, learning experiences that encourage us to sustain attention and reducing task switching or distractions and progressively building learners' attention endurance, the capability to sustain for a longer time, the slide which we showed you. Next. So I invite you to read this paragraph carefully, and we will give you about 1 minute or little more than that. Please read the paragraph before we do the activity. Can we share the next slide, Jyotsna? So the question is, these questions for you for self-reflection, the key message, the central message, or how did the trees respond to the attacks, environmental attacks, and other questions. But ask yourself, how much do you remember? And did you read carefully or simply read through it? Can you share? Are you there? Anyone can share?
Madam, Dr. Swapnil,
Huh.
yes, means I didn't read carefully, but then I read, first I flipped through it and then I read a bit carefully. Uh, the key scientific finding is that the forests are interconnected networks rather than an individual trees. That is what came into light after 1990s when this Canadian ecologist discovered this paradigm that the roots of the trees have fungal networks, and through that they help in protection and also extending the network.
Anyone else wants to share? Did you read carefully or you had the urge to just read through it?
I didn't have the urge, madam, but I read through it, but the first and then I read a bit carefully because of only the 1 minute time.
Yeah, okay. So this is just for us to reflect how our learners will be facing when they're young learners and I expect them to pay full attention for an hour. Is it possible for them to completely be connected with us? Okay. Now I want to do with the same. Josna, go back. So these network trees can exchange water, minerals, carbon, and nutrients. Chemical signals may also travel through the network. Now, I just want to ask you, how do you feel about this technological glitch that we are facing because of my new device? Can you share that? Yes, anyone?
Yes, ma'am. It is bit interrupting.
It is interrupting. So
Yeah.
now what I want to ask you, going back on which from where I read, what did I mean by that?
I didn't get you, ma'am.
I started reading and
Yes,
then I
ma'am.
interrupted you.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the sentence or the point I was reading?
The central idea, madam.
No, I was not reading the central idea. The whole question, next one, next slide, is when I interrupt you, many a times we have to reread before continuing. When you are switching task in your own college or in your, during your educational session with the students, when you are switching task and you are interrupted, or students are interrupting you, when we go back to that task, we have to reread or we have to slightly focus ourselves again.
Yeah.
So can you, next slide, can you share? So this phenomena is called attention residue. Every interruption leaves part of our attention on previous task. Refocusing requires additional mental effort. Working memory is limited. So if you keep on switching tasks from one to other, it will not all be superficially processed. Frequent task switching consumes cognitive resources. Next slide. So when you have the urge to skim, the deep processing is not happening. You're just reading through. Reading is not learning. Learning is understanding, going deeply into it, processing the information. And reading is not learning. So focused attention supports meaningful learning. And the concept of familiarity, we will see in the next slide. Next slide. We saw attention residue, that if you are interrupting yourself from emails to phones to something, it is not the same thing is happening to students. How do you feel? There are people who are told that we cannot live without the mobile even for a day, leave alone for an hour. We are asking in the other bimodal form to be away from the mobiles and emails just for 2 hours or a couple of hours or maybe an hour. There is an urge to skim in all of us when we go through. It's become a habit. This task switching has actually become a habit. That is why today this session. So when you're familiar with some information, you think I know it, and it's mistaken for genuine understanding. Deep work is not limited by intelligence. It is limited by the quality and quantity of our attention. Next slide. So I invite you to observe this red line again. Now think back. We had done this exercise and one of the participants shared that the waves were going up and down, but I never told you where to watch. Now I'm telling you, on the right side of the arrow you watch. On the right arrow, at the tip of the arrow you watch. And next slide, next click. This is called as guided attention. When you invite the students to look at a particular point when you're explaining in a diagram, it helps them. Next. So attention endurance exercise, focus, the attention wanders. You notice that the attention has wandered and restore it back and continue this again. You will again attention will wander and you restore it. So insight emerges, though you are struggling to keep the focus. It's called as cognitive struggle and it builds up attention endurance. Next slide, please. For the beginners, especially the novice, when they come to the health profession education institutions, building this new skill, as I first told you regarding Arjun, is important. But they should know what's in it for me, why I should do it. With these exercises, we can get their focus on the task and why attention matters in learning with small exercises and games can be demonstrated to them. And then, of course, the session building that can be done by the educators, which we'll see further. So recognition is not understanding is the message also need to be given to the students. They have a comfort level that everything is stored in the app, in the notes today, or whatever. In the yesteryears, we had the Xerox phobia, comfort level. But today they all have everything is in my device. I'll read it, and I know it. So that's also an issue. So this exercise is to be done by for the novice. So next slide, please. So how did I try to build these educational foundations? Is from the educational psychology authors who have researched deeply on cognitive science and instructional designs. So move on to next. So the ancient philosophies, maybe any philosophy, Vedantic or any other philosophy across the world, always have stressed on deliberate attention, meditation, and disciplined practice, focusing. Also, workers like William James brought about the importance of attention that shapes your experience. Learning strengthens connections through practice. The neural connections are through practice. Working memory has limited capacity. Badly has researched on this. And Sweller, a very important contribution has been given by John Sweller a couple of times, and that is cognitive load theory, effective learning, effective session designs, etc. A very important concept Sophie Leroy came out and she coined the word attention residue. Cal Newport has put up the concept of deep work as a concept for individual attention, because in today's complex world he was a computer science professor in those world, every day there is new innovations and new strategies, and so they have to learn faster, better in order to compete and get the tenure professorship, etc. That is how he started the journey. Next. So let us see the theories which shape our session here. Sweller, guided attention and reduce cognitive load. Badly, managing working memory, sustained attention. Managing the working memory is very important, focusing on the task. Along with Van Morenberg, Sweller said, we have to intentionally design the tasks and learning experiences. Craig and Lockhart propose deeper processing through meaning, connections, constructing meaning. Next. So Krishner proposed structured guidance for novice learners that we showed one of the slides. Sean, reflection consolidates learning. And as we said, Sophie Leroy, attention residue, and how task switching is only reducing your capacity for your cognitive resources, the limited cognitive resources on the task. Cal Newport came out with deep work as a concept, and he has given a lot of stories in the form of stories of successful people, how they have innovated and created. Next. So designing learning that sustains attention has been taken from various research workers and put up here. You ask curiosity, intriguing question. When the students are asked to predict as to why do you think that this is, or whichever session you are taking, it brings them on the task. Sense making, learners explain, and retrieval, recall, and application. We all are using some of these already. Next one. So now creative cognitive curiosity. What features of this joint help explain how it moves? Anybody wants to give me any input on creative cognitive curiosity? Please let it be interactive. Hello?
You can unmute and share your thoughts.
Jyotsna, you want to give in anything?
I'll wait for them, ma'am.
Okay.
Shall I, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Like, I'm a microbiology teacher, so always I would like to start with the pandemics and epidemics and outbreaks wherever it is relevant, so that they will know the. I mean, that will create the curiosity why they have to learn about it, which is very common in their community. That particular disease is.
Okay. So this is very important, creating sort of, setting the stage for them to be connected. As we said, they have already had one session before, maybe of anatomy or maybe any other subject. Before starting, if you give them maybe some sort of a slide where they can connect and to the particular session where they are, it makes a lot of difference. Jyotsna, next. Jyotsna, do you want to give an input? Okay. Next one. So curiosity gives the
Sorry,
purpose.
I'm having some trouble muting and unmuting, so it's taking some time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
please go ahead, ma'am.
how do we sustain the attention? I said with curiosity, you're setting the stage and the learners to get engaged and know the purpose of learning. Guided attention, they can focus on the key features. Prediction engages thinking before instruction. So when you are asking them about some concept to share their thoughts and sense making, they are thinking about it deeply. So there is a sort of a building attention cognitive struggle. Retrieval of information, maybe, sharing with a neighbor what is the central message. It strengthens learning and it also gives them a reflection, probably, that they need to understand it better. Application, it promotes transfer. Next one. Huh. So here I have created a poster sort of a thing, a learning session for TMG with all the concepts that I'm putting forward. Maybe a question on what is the unique feature of the TMJ, or why is it called as a gangliomo-orthoidal joint? Any question of any subject you can frame as a curiosity, sparking their interest. It can be guided attention. Look at the shape of the condyle. Now, maybe compare the shape of the two joints or head. Or maybe it is, what is the movement that limits the movement of the mouth opening? Whatever questions here, before we answer, we are using Bloom's level, cognition levels systematically in our instructional approach. We are not changing that. We are only stressing the attention explicitly. And you can also ask them to observe the movement and then discuss with the neighbor so that they have this cognitive checkpoint and productive struggle. And progressive revelation by us helps them in any topic. Instead of just showing the whole thing step by step or asking them to do it, with all the technology, it's more easier today. Then connect to the prior knowledge as to which two joints, synovial joints are similar or something like that. And creating a clinical transfer definitely will be through a question which is more clinically related for the senior students. So attention is not sustained because learners try harder. It is sustained because teachers design learning that gives attention a purpose. Because various students have various attention levels. And this is very common in today's ecosystem. With the entire thing is taken as habitual, and that defocus is become a habit. Next one, please. So guided attention, in the previous poster, what we used is guided attention, creating curiosity and guided attention, creating cognitive checkpoint, asking them to share with the neighbor, reflect on the previous knowledge or whatever they have learned. We also created opportunities for them to build cognitive struggle, vary cognitive engagement by explaining and then questioning, then again explaining and discussion and application, and cognitive load, information to the point. We reduce the cognitive load. Here, I want to bring about one point, that we are not by any way changing anything except that intentionally we are designing at least a couple of activities for the students for focusing on the task and understanding some complex things that we are explaining to them. The next one. The current practices, we're already including specific learning objective, introducing the topic, explain the concepts, sharing the presentation with the students. And we can today share good PowerPoint presentation, which can keep the students engaged. Images, diagrams, activities, demos, and we discuss questions. What we are requesting and thinking of adding is, apart from the specific learning objective, a question that sparks their attention or curiosity. It sparks its curiosity, a provoking question. It stimulates. So apart from introducing, you foster inquiry so that we can engage learners in active thinking. Constructing meaning through the session design, and then encourage analysis so that they are fully focused. Then you can ask them to first share their thoughts or about the particular, whatever topic is going on. We are promoting retrieval, reflection, and application. So from intended learning outcome, we move more towards to assess attained learning outcomes through these strategies for focus. Of course, this needs to be researched, and this is the first time that I'm putting the thought forward, because I've been thinking about, after reading the Deepwork book, nothing has been taken from the Deepwork book, but that is the entry point or the information I saw. Then we have checked so many research workers who have put up the but differently, that cognitive checkpoints and also memorization, moving from memorization to analysis, how this helps with proper thinking. So I invite your thoughts in the end. Jyotsna, next slide. So what we did, we moved from curiosity, guided attention. We also had productive struggle, progressive revelation. We had cognitive checkpoint. We tried to connect with prior knowledge and clinical transfer. So which part of the today's explanation helps you understand this clinical presentation? I want you to share it later with me. Maybe a clinical case shared, or maybe a clicking, and then asking the students a question. So attention is sustained. I'm reiterating it. When learning experiences are intentionally designed to help learners to focus, think deeply, and remain engaged purposefully. Next slide, please. So it's conceptual extension of current instructional design. So this is the concept that we explicitly stress on attention through our instructional design itself. The goal is not just to engage learners. It is intentionally to design learning experiences that sustain attention. Next slide, please. So we need to design the session intentionally for the learners. I want you to share the thoughts. If we have time, 5 minutes, if you can take, go through it and share again with me. Apart from these concepts, what do you more propose that we can have? Or maybe you can add some few points before we go ahead. Can we do that, Jyotsna? Hello? Hello?
Yes, madam.
So we are coming to the end of the presentation actually. I want you to start sharing as to, I'm sorry today's session, because of my new laptop this has happened. Otherwise, I was completely focused to give you a very good thought provoking session, but I apologize for it because Jyotsna is sharing, that's why.
And I'm also not able to use this app properly. I'm not able to mute, unmute, and coordinate actually. I don't know why. It never
It's
happens.
a completely new device for me, and also it's the latest one. So there are also hiccups. Though I'm trying to pay my full attention on what I am telling you, and I don't want to cognitively overload you today, because today they are saying that if you keep on talking and show slides with full animations, it is more overload than anything else. So that's why I kept it to the minimum.
Yeah. So you want me to stop sharing now, ma'am, or what you
No,
want me to?
next slide you show, then we can just go for discussion.
Okay.
So moving forward, we are rethinking learning designs, focusing on attention. Designing learning experiences that intentionally cultivate sustained attention, engage learners in purposeful thinking, and promote deep work. So when we start discussing, I want inputs from you as to how we can intentionally incorporate in our embed into the daily practice. The next one. I thank you for your attention. I hope that even through these hiccups of the technology and on my part also not able to share directly, you still had some thought provoking that I have made you think about the attention. And I want you to share now the experiences that you can add.
Yeah. Now I have the controls better. It's moving now. I think it was with the keynote key, whatever app, that was the problem. Now I can move all the controls.
Madam, I'm Dr. Swapnil.
Yeah, Jyotsna,
Yes, ma'am.
stop sharing now. I am not able to. Just a minute, Swapnil.
Yes.
Are you able to see the participants?
No, that's the reason.
Okay. You need to just log into you need to stay on the Zoom app, ma'am. You can close the keynote app that you had.
Yeah.
We are able to see you.
Okay, we go ahead because even this is not happening here.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Swapnil, please go
Yes,
ahead.
Swapnil.
Yes, madam. Nice insights from Carl Newport's work, actually. And like, I think we have a ready-made template in the form of Robert Gagney's 9 events of instruction, which everybody can use at least those 6, 7 events, and maybe if not possible for the eighth or ninth, at least whatever they can use those events. The first event is gaining attention. And then Jyotsna madam is teaching us on the AHP course where she talks about Merrill's first principles. Uh, so those are also very good for designing an instructional design experience, but I find them slightly difficult still. And we can also use Chat GPT to design lectures based on Gangmay's principles. I designed one yesterday and he gave me wonderful examples. Then I tweaked it and he gave me another example. And I can, for every, he gives various options for gaining attention, then what questions one should ask, and like that.
Okay, so please share that article with us.
Which article, madam?
You said about having read these principles somewhere, right?
Yeah. Merrill's first principles, Jyotsna
Okay,
madam
okay,
is
okay,
teaching
okay, okay.
in
We are
in the
using it in
AHPE
our
course.
IPE course, ma'am. So those
Yes.
are the foundational principles based on which the curriculum is designed. So Dr. Swapnil, Dr. Manisha, they're all our participants there. So he's referring to that foundational principle there.
Huh, okay.
So it basically speaks about experiential learning,
Huh.
using problem-based authentic cases as a starting point to engage the learner. And based on that curiosity, we take them ahead in their learning journey.
Yeah, but see, here we are talking about a class wherein we are pay attention. They don't pay attention just by saying that. But if you have creating instructional design, incorporating certain of the principles, that maybe a lot of things can be better for them, and especially conducting the sessions like communication skill. This also is a skill, of course. In fact, it is a skill which is today very difficult for everyone, because it is all the environment is such that we are switching tasks from one to other, and during exams we are able to focus fully. Many a times to when we are reading etc, or maybe we are writing something, we are fully focusing. So this has to become an habit even in our students, to focus on the when the sessions are going on, and instructional designs need to be done accordingly.
And madam, neuroscience textbooks like Robert Sapolsky's Behave and what Robert Sapolsky writes in Behave is that we are not wired for multitasking. We are
Yes.
wired to focus on one task only.
Yeah. Even the one or two articles I read, he's saying multitasking is was considered to be very, a great trait in few years back. But multitasking is the worst thing you can do. If you
Yes,
are having attention fragmented everywhere, every attention from the other task is still playing in your mind, and you are not,
of
that's
course.
what we talked about, attention. So some of these concepts even taught to the students, like for, I mean, through the games or something, it will help. What I thought as an earlier was, I have seen students who are unable to learn, but the same students, when created environments for them, especially that when you are engaging them, they are presenting, they are the teacher, they are able to do the work, but they are just not interested in routine work.
And madam, any student uh, can enter a flow state, and if he or she is given an activity where he or she enters in flow, then that attention would be anchored. And because when I'm drawing or I'm making mind maps or concept maps, I enter that flow state, I lose that uh, uh, relation with time, and then the attention is really there.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
creativity is a very good
But do you
uh,
suggest anything more for the attention activity?
means like giving them tasks where they can, if they can express in drawings, then they should create drawings like girls or if they want to write a piece about or reflect on that particular aspect, then maybe that attention would be enhanced if
Huh.
they are
No,
given more
we
authentic
included
experience.
reflection, but apart from the 7 strategies that I was stressing on, like curiosity and prediction and attention, guided attention, reflection, something more. Maybe that calls for a more in-depth study.
madam.
So anybody else would like to share?
Ma'am, like if we involve them, we want them to uh, learn about the policy making and the decision making. So if we create some examples and where we tell them ki you consider yourself as a particular ms of hospital, or you are a minister of health and you have to create some policy, they are very active, ma'am. Particularly this gen z, they are very good when they are given chance and they imbibe what is the problem, and then they discuss among themselves. So experiential learning is very very useful for the deep learning when they are involved themselves.
Okay, that's
Particularly in one more example I would like to give, ma'am, like we were discussing mobiles are always distractions, and then I had one class on where the rare diseases I have to cover. So I thought, why not use the mobile? So I asked them, particularly neurocysticercosis, there will be very reported cases will be very less. So I asked them to search the reported cases which are from the India. So they got engaged and they found out, and then they shared how many cases they could find or how many articles they could find.
that is very true. I used to go to Surennagar Siusha Medical College, and I found in Gujarat the language of instruction that is for us Indians English is not so very well spoken by most of the people. Not all of them. Some of them do. So I started activity called as a language lab. It was not to teach English or anything, but to a trial, like in a experimentation. So what I did was I used to every time ask them to take out their mobiles, make maybe per row, divide them into sometimes it's competition, and ask them to read something in Gujarati and then translate in English or vice versa. We even did some things for Women's Day. What is the theme? What do you understand by that? And it helped them not only to focus, but also understand and connect. See, language is one thing we need to consider. Sometimes the language, the pronunciation, or the way we speak, the diction and etc. is not understood. That also creates difficulties. So it is up to us how we assess the learners and do it.
Debates also helps a lot, ma'am.
Yes,
When it is debate, they learn all the small, I mean, very minute facts about that particular topic, and they are more prepared. Only thing, not all are involved. So those, I mean, whatever 15 members actively talking and others are listening, but it helps for those 15 at least.
correct. So
Madam,
we are generally looking at the class and thinking that even the person who is unable to focus is also we are able to help them by the time he reaches his final year. This attention level does increase but helps exponentially. That is the whole thing.
Madam, of course, meditation, doing regular meditation for 20 minutes a day will help to enhance focus. And Merrill's first principles, which Jyotsna Madam is teaching us, it involves a lot of scaffolding at each step. And that scaffolding will enhance the problem solving ability and enhance learning and enhance even the uh, means engagement with a particular topic of the
I fully
student.
agree. I fully agree. Actually, but if you tell the students you have to sit and meditate, they will not fall for
Yeah.
it. In fact, they will be quite averse to it. Certain things, the younger generation, not as a generalization, sometimes they are even sharper. Some of them, I'm not generalizing anybody, but I'm saying that um, most of us have today difficulty. How long can we stay without mobiles and notification is the question mark for us. Then do we expect the students to sit for 1 hour in the class and fully focus? And we are also without giving them the opportunity for attention activities. The instruction and design is done very well. The construct is good, but then it will become a one-sided talk, not only interaction, beyond interaction. I'm calling it beyond just productivity to focus, opportunities for focusing. I want more inputs because I feel that there are methods by which we can make them really improve their attention span. Meditation may work, may not work. Maybe a meditation short span of 5 minutes done in a yoga or wherever, whatever extracurricular activities you have. This can be done in the AHPE module in the, when we are taking the other sessions, that can be done that time. And even attention can be introduced. It's beyond NMC or NDC. But the question is whether we want to go beyond that. So please share. There are many of you who have not said anything.
Yes,
Madam,
please go ahead.
Harvard started the project in the 1960s,
Huh?
and six thinking and then De Bono's six thinking hats, which you can use for AdCom.
Huh?
This is then what Eric Mazur uses at Harvard. He uses near peer teaching and concept tests. Those also engage. I have done a flipped classroom last year based on that, and students. The lucky thing was that students did the pre-class work very well. 205 of the 250 students did.
Okay.
So So that was quite a success, but Mazur's workflow is also very nice. That he teaches a bit, then he gives a concept test, then peer teaching and all, whatever it is, but it also engages the students greatly. Then doing any creative endeavor.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I would like to, I mean, many of already would have done that. So particularly while teaching or learning bioethics principles, cinema education is also very effective. Cinema education followed by reflection by the students. So when there is cinema is going on, definitely they are very attentive. And reflection again, it what we can say support or help the learning what they are going to learn.
Yeah. So there are two things. You know that Barbara Oakley's Coursera course on learning how to learn is the number of people who have attended is the largest in the world, it seems. Even today, it goes strong.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And Barbara Oakley shares a letter every Friday, madam.
Huh.
And Carl Newport was a student initially, and
Okay.
then he went to MIT and did PhD in computer science. And
Yes.
Carl Newport has another very effective habit, which is he puts 6 p.m. as his cutoff time.
Yes. That he started afterwards, later on. I'm not going into the book, but the person who inspired him was Adam Grant. So let me tell you about Adam Grant, youngest full-time, full professor, not tenure or anything, full professor. And the number of publications he produced was just not comparable to anyone or anywhere. All of them are today considered all his books are revered, right from givers and takers to option B and other things and all. So there are a lot of things, but let me focus on one thing today, that it is, can we incorporate it in our instructional design? Because we are having an instructional design today, which is used by all of us. But the strategy is what you use for connecting. And that also cannot be generalized because by default, the attention of a few people, few learners may be much more than the span, may be much more than the others. So also all types of activities has to be incorporated. So I feel that I require more response on this.
Ma'am,
Madam,
gamification can be one very gamification.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
Yes.
these
It
days it
is
is very
Sanjay,
easy
right? Is
to.
it Sanjay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So gamification is a very interesting thing. But Sanjay, how can you increase the focus for complex activities?
Ma'am, basically it's how you design the game,
Huh.
and uh, and along with that, in gamification, you can also bring in some teams, convert them into teams, and because in games you are allowed to, you are given a culture where you can commit mistakes and do it again and again, and also you can uh, do things, I mean, just like uh, in a way that you simulate the real environment without any pressure, and along with your friends, and you enjoy it.
So one question I'm asking is, with these activities, uh, are we engaging or helping them to increase the attention span, or they require every time a new strategy for a new dopamine rush, that they cannot just listen to a chalk and a teacher, or maybe they cannot be focused without any of these other additives?
Ma'am, gamification cannot be put in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, because there is a limit. I mean, you cannot put in game. I mean, the original chalk and that will remain always.
Yeah.
But wherever gamification is possible, I mean, these days I'm reading quite a lot. So I'm the more I'm
Yes.
going deeper into it, I'm really enjoying it. That how much potential is possible.
Yeah. You're right, Sanjay, because I was also quite skeptical about using AI. And the year began with the workshop of the AHP by Supe and Chinmay that introduced me to that it can be used usefully. So when I went to Notebook LM, the session what you also had, I felt that it is going to help us provided I first do certain things and then ask the AI for support. So AI, how we use is important, but for the students, I don't know how we are going to manage them for
Yes,
attention when they can just produce a complete critical review. The postgraduates bring what is done by ChatGPT.
yes, ma'am.
Hello,
Ma'am, everything
Yeah.
it's not
hello,
necessary to
madam.
be.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir, you're there?
Have you gone? Now you talked about deep thinking and deep
Yes.
learning. So,
Huh.
have you gone through literature and found out what is the role of AI in deep learning?
Sir, not much, but what I found out from article is people were always skeptical, and they used to say it will create a cognitive offload. But then the article said that if you use it properly, it can really give you generate ideas and be your partner, be your support. Sir?
Why I asked you know, because see, all the time the criticism of AI is that it works only at nose level and up to some extent knows how. It is does not really help at a deeper level of cognitive kind of thing.
Huh.
So I just wanted to know ki if you have, there are a lot of now people are working where they're thinking about complex design thinking and all that kind of thing, and
Huh.
they are going in the deep learning, how much AI has been able to help you, and that is what we have to now start working, ki does it really help you in deep learning, and
Sir, to be very frank,
Hmm.
he really plays a good partner, sir. Because when I was generating slide by slide on the temporomandibular joint, it was becoming very cumbersome for me. Then I gave the
नहीं, उतरू थे प्रज्ञा
uh,
आगे ले लो हाँ, sorry.
I gave the prompt to the chat GPT that I want on to you to work on these 6 things. And I gave some other ideas also. It helped me to generate that one chart. I don't know whether you were there that time, sir. Hello?
No, I was not there that time.
So, sir, I showed one slide wherein all the 7 or 6 or 7 concepts for deep, so it's deep work. When I say deep learning, it comes to AI, because AI is now deep learning. We all say deep thinking and deep work, because deep
Okay.
learning is mistaken for a AI.
No. The
Huh.
AI and deep learning are totally different, madam.
Sir, but I
AI
understand.
is a tool, deep learning is a concept. So we have to really bridge that,
Correct.
Yeah, are we able to do it? So I think it's a very interesting interaction, because we have to, as all educators, we must start using and thinking like this, what we can do more with AI rather than just listing something and preparing slides or something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Can we really do for concept building? Can we use it more for clinical reasoning? Can you think about deep learning? All this is what our challenge in next few years. So I think we should start thinking about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this book by this Cal Newport was a concept for deep thinking through some
Yeah.
strategies. So I started thinking whether our students also can be helped. Same instructional design, what we have today. But certain things for especially explicitly, they will come to know that attention. So I showed the slide of Arjuna in the first opening, that it was not just the skill of archery. It was deliberate practice for attention, to focus on that bird, on the eye of the bird, on the moving target. And that all those opportunities were created by Dronacharya. So that is the reason
Point noted, madam. Point noted.
Yes, sir. Sucheta
Madam,
has not given any input.
I think ma'am had to leave a little bit early, ma'am.
Okay. Jyotsna, what about you?
This is a concept which is very much the in thing. So now we have to look at how we convert it into explicit research, because it's most of it is now in the theoretical phase.
Yes, I agree. That is the reason I wanted to put the thought forward here. So that first step would be how we go ahead. Probably we can generate the more ideas through a Google form or whatever from the educators, and then uh, do certain, applications what we have thought about, the various educationists they have put forward. So that can be done in certain colleges. Then only it can be said that yes, it works.
Yeah.
Madam, AI can help design MCQs for testing higher order cognitive skills like application and analysis, that is clinical vignette designing. It can
Huh.
also be used to design cases which we can use so that students can develop skills of critical thinking and problem solving. And
Huh.
and it helps us at least get the idea of designing a case. So it accelerates our work.
True. But when the student is a novice in the beginning, is it a possibility that we build his skill of this focusing, increasing the attention span without any extraneous support or extraneous, the things what are supporting him? That is one. Intraneously, can he focus? That is also somewhere I read about this, that it is important to have the skill built within so that all the other things help you. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on that?
Right.
While we are all contemplating on this work,
Yes.
I think Dr. Prerna had raised her hand. Let me invite her for a question. Dr. Prerna, are you there?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I was first of all, thank you so much, ma'am, for this insightful talk. I was listening quite engagingly, but apart from this our current discussion, I would like to raise an issue that despite all our efforts to engage the students more deeply in during classes and giving them modules and all these things, what I find is the students today, because of the structure, this medical structure we have a PG entrance exam. So they focus right from first year on solving MCQs. Their mind attaches importance to that aspect. So
Yes.
all these efforts go in drain. So that is the challenge I see with UG students. And of course, through PG, from these PG students, I've come to learn that they stay in that MCQ phase for a quite a long time and under the peer pressure. And only towards the end of the training period that they realize that it was important to learn deeply to be able to put it into practice well. So as teachers, of course, the change, and if at all this change has to come, and how do we undertake our UG, how do we make students, matlab, this entrance for PG exams, if that at all is changed in time to come, how do we address such issues during that time at present?
So this is a systemic problem, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I am suggesting, put forwarding a proposal that begin at the first year, the novice, if you give him that importance of how he can learn faster, better through certain, as Sanjay said, gamification, Supe also suggested something, but I am saying that it is also through simple exercises of making him read a paragraph and immediately asking him something he realizes he has not been able to understand.
Mhm.
Secondly, exercises which can increase his attention maybe for a minute, then 2 minutes, building up slowly, progressively. Because today it is a real problem with these MCQs, especially the type of exams
Mhm.
that the students are facing,
Mhm.
also becoming a very reactive learner and later on repenting on it and blaming the system again.
Mhm.
So, and there are still some students who do well.
Yeah.
So that we need to amplify that why did they, how they were able to learn better. And also build up these small, see, today communication skills people are learning.
Mhm.
Formerly, it was taken that everybody knows. So today we are taking that attention is something which is intrinsic and it's a trait which will students, every human has. But it is cannot be taken for granted today with this ecosystem. So if we
Mhm.
can build it small exercises, maybe this it will help them in the long run. And we can't expect 100% turnover, but something
Mhm.
can be there. As some Swapnil suggested about meditation, students won't probably take it very well. But starting with a 5 minute or something like that, or basically all these exercises and games are going to help them in the competition, I'm telling you. Because when they focus and they are not able to, they are losing their particular A versus B, the B
Mhm.
group is losing, they will now next time pay more attention and immediately look at the task.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be. Thank you.
Yeah.
Madam, also Barbara Oakley's retrieval practice,
Ah,
which we are not incorporating so much in our classes, that
ah,
is giving retrieval practice at day 3, day 7, and then
yes.
again at 14 and 21.
Ah.
I think that will, because I realize that in spite of maybe teaching well, still 70% of the class knows, but 50% of the class knows. But if retrieval practice is there, then they will remember. Sometimes they miss simple concepts.
So basically here I definitely that is important, Swapnil, but I am discussing on the session. They are not able to pay full attention on the session. सब ऊपर से जाता है देश. But the question is, can we make them focus on what we are talking, connect with certain things, as she also says? So, learning how to learn and attention, there are two concepts. When you learn how to learn all those things, is how you want to learn, what are the techniques you're using to learn. But paying attention is something which is even beyond that. Ultimately, both are done together. We cannot separate them. But learning faster, better, it has to be developing is through being on the task. And the simple exercise, previously also she was speaking about not being able to, because of these MCQ exams, simple exercises that if they can practice half an hour of no mobile, that also will help. And this retrieving is an excellent practice for people, because even for us, it is very useful. It is a ritual that we have to create now.
Madam, the Pomodoro is very effective for me also. Pomodoro technique. It helps really. Means for 25 minutes, if you focus, then you can focus for 25 minutes actually.
That's great. Yeah. Either I was not able to completely connect with people, or they are still thinking very deeply as to how to interact.
Totally,
Ma'am, if I
ma'am. Good
may come
evening,
in.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, this is Dr. Imran. Ma'am, I joined midway, but it was a thought-provoking from the wherever I joined.
Yeah.
Basically, I take a topic, public health dentistry is a subject I teach.
Yeah.
And I think every topic what I take is a challenge, because I have 100 students who do not want to learn what we are teaching. Nothing enters to their head. We are talking about whether it's a host factor, agent factor, or environment factor. They're like, what are we talking about? Tell us how to fill the tooth. That is more than enough.
Yes.
All these factors which causes the disease may not be important for them. But I think we are over a period of time. I have developed. We ask them questions. We ask them. Probably debate. I have used online platforms so that they can put an answer. One astonishing thing which I found was when I was doing an online lecture, they don't open the mic and ask questions. But when I put it in the form of online questions, they all type, they all answer, but they do not want to open the mic and answer. So this was one interesting which I found out, and I feel it is a plus or minus, and I think engaging them by asking questions and making them realize it is important to study. That is also very important thing, because we are doing quite a few projects within our university with regard to our visits. We do, as a public health dentist, we do have a lot of visits to the places, and everybody started questioning why are these visits are being planned. So we thought, why not conduct a study? What is the importance? So we have planned for few activities. I think today's topic, I thought, when everybody were explaining, it is making some sense. I think I'll soon, probably next year, I will share the results, what has happened to whatever we have planned and we are planning to do.
Yeah. Swapnil, you were talking about Carl Jung, the disputed by Freud later. It was not to show that, but it is, the conscious, subconscious mind. Maybe the people who are going through Freud and they trust him more, but there is something which he gave the food for thought. Carl Jung was the first one to put forward the theories.
Yes, madam. And he is more respected now.
Yes, it is true. Today they are coming back to that.
Yeah. Of course, there was an article in Reader's Digest long back where they called him the sage of Zurich, because he used to devote a particular time every day to write. And then he cured many journalists from the Second World War. In one meeting only, he cured them from their trauma of facing the war.
Okay. So it was not to just say about one person or anything. There are hundreds of examples. We can give example of C.V. Raman. He locked himself in his laboratory for days together, which was just next door to his house. And people worried. The food used to come back without being eaten. And you see what he found out was phenomenal. That what he got the Nobel Prize for that. We are not expecting our students to do any such things. We are just trying to give them that how reactive thinking is creating so much havoc of their learning. That is all. the students are intelligent. Once they know there is benefit for me, they will probably do it much better.
Madam, too much of social media is making this reactive thinking.
Yes.
I think we need to see how we convert this reactive thinking to deeper
Yes,
thinking.
yes. Sir, the tech platforms are monetizing on that only.
Good evening, ma'am. Meenakshi here, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, Meenakshi.
Ma'am, wonderful session, and it was actually, as you said, we are all in deep thinking mode right now. And as Imran sir also rightly said, that he's into a lot of activities and all. I did a small activity even in my class where I made discussion forums and learning by doing activity. And I'm actually into gamification class by Sanjay sir as well. So I thought of engaging them in role plays. They themselves becoming the patient and their same subordinate becoming the doctor and trying to interact and they getting the solutions. So these were small tricks which I tried to introduce in my classes, and that was quite reactive, and probably they started showing involvement and they started analyzing what can go wrong. Probably as Imran sir rightly said that they're not open for mics, but when they're allowed to write in discussion forums, they're coming up with good ideas, ma'am.
Yeah.
So these were small things which maybe we can also think of later in our education system also, like discussion forums and learning trajectories, giving them materials beforehand and asking them to give the feedback at the next stage, small snippets kind of a thing, like how you showed us a paragraph. We give the paragraph beforehand, and the next class they are supposed to summarize and tell us what exactly it is and how the treatment was given to the patient.
See,
So,
the paragraph was basically given for
yes,
us
ma'am.
to experience the urge to just skip some sentences,
Right.
or if you interrupt, what happens? And you think you already know about all these things. That's why I did not give anything to do with any subject matter in health profession. I gave it
Correct.
in a geographical context so that we are at least able to connect with it.
Correct.
You're
True,
right,
ma'am.
Meenakshi. All these things, it needs really deep thinking as to how
Required, ma'am,
one or
actually.
two one or two strategies can be adapted in our. We're all busy people, and people say, why should I do it more than what I'm supposed to? So just go to the class and do it. But some of the low-hanging fruits can be done immediately, like maybe, as you said, maybe a discussion, maybe somebody else said about some other techniques which can create help them to retrieve properly.
Retrieve, yes, ma'am.
Time and again, after 7 or days or something, you can ask when you meet them the next session, you can ask them, as Swapnil said, so they come to know how important it is to retrieve.
Correct, ma'am.
Yeah,
True, ma'am.
some techniques to help them. As sir said, Supesh sir said that today's social media is playing a havoc, but to be not seen. I know there are examples in the book of people who are completely given up in social media, but the young generation want to be seen, and maybe we also. Now, very few of us don't put anything on the Facebook. Hardly we put it anything. We only see, but some that also once in a month. But people can't live without Instagram and other apps. There's so many apps actually. So it is difficult for the students, the young generation. It is so much, they say that not doing anything is a great thing for learning. Swapnil is there?
Yeah, he's there, ma'am.
Yeah. So that is one thing. Jyotsna,
Yes.
doing nothing is a big thing today for getting completely the brains to completely start working. The neural connections are so depleted because of this over thinking that you not doing.
Madam, I feel we should all promote eating 5 stars, doing nothing actually. That advertisement is so good actually.
So
Sir, as a dentist, I will definitely object to 5-star.
yes.
Ma'am will brush after eating.
Yeah.
Sticky one. So anything else is okay, not 5-star.
वो तुम्हारा डेंटिस्ट का प्रॉब्लम है, इट्स नॉट आवर प्रॉब्लम.
सर हमारे सिर्फ हमें हमको तो
शुगर का आपको शुगर का प्रॉब्लम है, बिकॉज
Yeah.
शुगर रश इन द ब्रेन.
आप लोग
Yeah.
5
So
स्टार
he will
खाएंगे
is
तो हमें फायदा
conditioned.
ही फायदा है सर.
So he's conditioned.
No. But forget about all that. But his
Uh,
that advertisement is so different, But it is a thought-provoking advertisement.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Do we
So
have any questions?
Actually, Nagda madam, can I speak? This is Dr. Jyoti Gauri.
Yes.
Madam, it was an excellent session, and actually, it has put me into introspection because at MET, MUHS, we are trying to promote as much as we can for learner engagement. But now, after your session, I'm really thinking whether we are giving them any time for construction of knowledge, because everything, as you perfectly said, that it is all about reactions has been there by the AI tool, and there is hardly any time for them to do some reflection or learn from that knowledge construction. Actually, the learning from constructing the knowledge, that is not happening. So really it has put me into an introspect, and I will read more about it. Thank you,
No,
ma'am.
I
Thank you
think,
for that
but some,
wonderful.
madam, we should think in a different way. See, previously, many of our students, their maximum time used to go into the simple cognitive, low level knowledge kind of a thing. Now, if they are using AI for some of these aspects, they will have a spare time. That is where they should spend on little deeper thinking. See, about say a few years ago, we used to really teach students about superficial thinking and deep thinking and all that kind of thing, deep learning, all that. But all that now we have stopped doing it. But it's time that you should say people that whatever time you are getting, try to use it for complex problems. I think this is where you should really direct our education now.
Yes, sir. Sir, what I was thinking is, earlier we used to say that all the multiplication table should be at by heart in our times. Then it came where everything is on the calculator. People said that now the brains will deplete and cognitive offload will happen and all. It didn't, but we started thinking differently. So today's world, as I earlier said, it is all about able to analyze the information that is right and that is trash, and also using it mindfully and not just reflexively. Sir, it is habit with us, me also. When some advertisement comes, you probably is a path of least resistance taken by the brain. The brain is always goes on a mode where effort is less. That is why email, task switching, and all those things becomes habit easily, and the focusing task becomes to be focused, created, learned, habituated then.
No. Actually, we should not ask them what do they know. We should ask them how do you use it, what is known by you.
Correct.
It's a whole change in your concept now, it has to come. So, conceptually, we have to make them learn whatever is available with AI. How do you convert it into little wisdom or deep knowledge or whatever it is? So, that's the whole process of a teacher. How he handles students and how he handles the knowledge has to change.
Yes, sir.
Which is not coming over a period of time.
Yes, sir.
So many food for thought for today, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Why
How we
don't
can
you
incorporate this in our regular learning, how we can incorporate into our teaching, whether we can look at it to do some research on these conceptual factors that we are discussing today.
Yeah, sure.
Very nice.
Sir,
Okay.
Supe sir, I will share that with you so we can do something ahead. I'll share it in the group with Jyotsna so that
No problem, man. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You will be,
yeah.
Jyotsna, you will be also sending her first part of a presentation, no, which I missed actually.
Yes,
I
sir.
would
It
like
is,
to listen to her.
Yes, so the session is being live streamed on YouTube. So I will share the
Just send
link.
me a link. I'll do
Yes,
that. Okay.
I
Sure.
will do that.
The only issue is Jyotsna was sharing the slide because I could not share it directly.
That's okay, madam. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
see, madam, I'm happy you have bought a new laptop and everything. Now I'm so happy you are upgrading yourself. Now it's time we should go for
Sir, it
all
has to
AI
be.
tools.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is a must. Sir, that we learn from you.
ठीक है. It's okay. No problem.
Yeah. So,
It-
Jyotsna, I want you to give some inputs.
Yes, ma'am. It was a very thoughtful presentation and also a thought-provoking presentation. I can see the effort which has gone in to bring the new concept and simplify it to our audience. And with that simplification, we have understood what deep learning focuses on and how it influences our life on a regular basis and what factors we can include it to our teaching learning strategies. But as a researcher, I keep contemplating on, these are conceptual theories. Is there really some proof? How do we investigate it? What could be the research question? So my thought process goes along in that direction.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much for this presentation, Suhasini ma'am. And thank you to all the AHP EC members who are here and our AHP members who are here. We look forward to having our next workshop. August is going to be a month for AHP workshop as well as an AHP dialogue, which is going to be coming up. So we look forward to seeing you there. And thank you once again, Suhasini ma'am. I know it was a very short notice presentation for you and you made time for us despite your schedule and you presented it today. So thanks everyone and have a great weekend.
I thank HP, I thank you, Jyotsna, Sucheta, and all the senior members of HP, Dr. Supe, for attending my session today. But what I learned a lot from this, because though I was contemplating from the Deepwork book and a couple of other books also, but this made me look at the research in education much more. And I got so many articles. People have worked, but all have given different concepts. It's as you say, the research question: how can we bring the important educational concepts to this, and how we can take it by ahead with the help of our research?
Yes, yes, indeed. So if you have any ideas or concepts you'd like to discuss, you can send a mail to the HP Secretariat. Then I can put you in touch with Suhasini Nagda ma'am and it can take it forward from there. Or if you have a specific research component where you are looking for collaborators, please send out an email. We will see from the AHP platform how we can do this as a collaborative research as well.
Oh, that will be wonderful. Now I'm thinking it should be done through HP platform only.
We are open for all collaborations, ma'am.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Because
yeah,
that would be wonderful, because our members are so very knowledgeable that they will be able to give inputs, refine the research question, refine the research itself, and take it
yeah.
ahead.
Yes, indeed. So we
Huh.
look forward to hearing more from you all. And thank you, Suhasini ma'am, for bringing this concept to the light.
Yeah.
And as is our principle, we like to start on time and end on time. So yes,